Hi, my name is Paul Roger Dam, and today I'm going to quickly take you through adjusting your settings on Zoom Cloud and the Zoom app on your desktop so you get clean recordings that you can use for broadcast or social media distribution. Let's go. So first, we're going to do our recordings in the cloud primarily. You're going to need to log on to zoom.us, or if you're at a university using a single sign-on, you're going to need to go to your university.fsu.us, etc. Once you log in, we're going to click Settings. And I highly recommend you go through and check your meeting settings. These are the default settings when you create a new meeting. And this is a disclaimer. If you have meetings scheduled already, and then we go in and adjust these settings, those setting changes will not take effect in the meetings you already have scheduled. You need to schedule new meetings for those settings to take effect. Disclaimer over, moving on. We need to go into our record settings, and like I said, we're not going to record locally, but if you do, I'll show you something we can tweak there. There's a couple of settings we can change. We want to make sure cloud recording is enabled, and we're going to go through and make some changes here, or add some things. First of all, by default, record active speaker with a shared screen is enabled. And what that is that's the normal, when you think of a Zoom recording, that's the normal recording. You see the active speaker. If they share their screen, their desktop view goes full screen, and you see a picture-in-picture, okay? For us broadcasters, we want more options to be able to create clean video and edit it together. So we check this record active speaker, gallery view, and shared screen separately. That will give us what's called ISO, or isolated recordings. So we're going to enable active speaker checkbox. That'll give us a recording of just the active speaker. Even if they share their screen, we will still just see each active speaker. Now, a different active speaker talks, it'll cut back and forth, just like cameras cutting, but we don't get the computer desktop view, right? Clean cameras. We enable the gallery view checkbox. That gives us just the gallery view. That's that multi-box, multi-viewer view where you see everybody in the meeting, okay? And that gives you, that's nice if you want to just edit in a cutaway. It's nice to have, to use if you want, but primarily for our shows, we're not using it all the time. Next, we have shared screen. That's just going to give you an isolated recording of the desktop that they're sharing. That way, if you want to edit it in when they refer to it, you have that choice. You have the power to do so at that point. Now, record an audio file. This is useful for people that are just working with sound. If you just need the WAV file to edit, or if maybe it's an MP3, you can just download it. It makes it quick and easy, fast download because it's just audio. You don't need to wait on the video download to work with that. Now, these are important settings for getting clean video. Under Advanced Cloud Recording Settings, we want to uncheck the Add a Timestamp to the recording. No, by default, Zoom will put a time of day. We don't want that. Get rid of that. We want to uncheck that box. I like to have this box unchecked, display participants' names in the recording, because we are going to add a lower third name key. So we'll identify our guests ahead of time and then build a graphic and add it in post-production. If you're not going to do that, maybe you want to leave that box checked so that your guests are identified in the recording. Moving down, I have optimized the recording for third-party video editor. It says it's going to be a little bit bigger file size, but I like the peace of mind knowing that it's going to be compatible with any edit system I use or software. Audio transcript. This is nice because Zoom is going to automatically use, or it's going to use its AI and machine learning to transcribe all the talking. You can now, if you check this box, download that file to use to create sidecar closed caption files. You could upload it to YouTube or put it into Adobe Premiere to create your closed captioning. All right. Anything else that's important here? Scrolling down, automatic recording. Might be good to have on if you do that all the time. Scrolling down. Oh, it's important. A disclaimer. Your files will automatically be deleted. If this is on, they will automatically be deleted after a time period specified by your administrator. So be aware when your event is done, download those files. Zoom will take a minute to process. It'll send you an email that the files are ready in the cloud. Go ahead and download them. Okay? Recording disclaimer, if you want, it'll send up a little notice to them when you start recording. All right. Moving on, again, I recommend going into the meeting settings and adjusting some of those for security, just checking, about whether or not by default their cameras are on or off, making sure by default they're allowed to use the audio, etc. Check these settings, okay? Nothing here I think that's super critical for us for recording, so I'm going to move on to the local app. Here we go. Here's the local Zoom application, and we're going to go into the settings. All right. So under the video setting, this is important for whoever's going to actually have their camera active during the production. It would be good to have them enable the HD checkbox. It's not necessarily going to make their camera higher resolution. And oftentimes these web cameras are actually a square type of resolution, and hitting HD may crop the image. However, if you're doing video for television broadcast or for streaming, you're probably going to want to go 16:9, unless you're doing Instagram and you want square. But most of these screens, if they share an image, those are 16:9. So the point is, it's good to get everybody on the same page as far as your aspect ratio. Have your guests, and you yourself should check the HD checkbox. You may want to touch up your appearance. Moving on. Audio, this is kind of handy, and they've made some changes to Zoom recently, which is why I'm going to re-record this video. Right here where it says show in meeting option to turn on original sound. Now you got to be careful with this, but if you want to get the highest quality sound, now it will eat up more bandwidth, but if you want the highest quality sound, let's say you're doing music, and you've got a guitar or your guest has guitar, you want to have that on so that you or your guests can turn on the original sound, and that will bypass some of Zoom's processing and compression, allowing, like I said though, it will eat up a little bit more bandwidth. So I like to have that on, and when original sound is enabled, you can set what you want. We want stereo audio, we want high fidelity music, and do you want it to disable echo cancellation? This is what I meant by be careful, okay? Now, when we do things in the studios and we're not using the Zoom as like a true, two-way, whatever, I turn that off. I don't want Zoom trying to cancel things out. I want pure audio being pumped out. So just be aware of that. Okay, enable original audio. Also, you may want to turn down the background suppression. If you find like your Zoom is cutting out the audio a lot, so I have it down on low, right? But again, this is for your guest. So just bear that in mind. You would need to tell your guests to do this as well, because this is on the desktop app, right? This allows you to transmit the best possible video, you to transmit the best possible audio. Got it? Okay. I think that's about it. Let me see. Recording. Oh, finally. So, you want to set the record location if you're going to record locally. You're going to want to optimize for a third-party video editor. We don't want to add a timestamp, so that should be unchecked, okay? And then, by convenience sake, you can log into your cloud record settings right there. All right, but that's about it. I think that covers everything we need to know as far as Zoom record settings. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to contact me. I hope you guys are having a great day and hope this was useful for you. Take care. Goodbye.